Hey there, Ride the Car Guy here, and we're back. After a very extended break, I think it's been about 6 months since my last how-to video, we're back. We're in a new workshop and in a new state. We're back to Michigan. Long story, talk about it later. And we have a few things going on here. As you may or may not know, this season on Ride the Car Guy, we are doing a VK swap into an Xterra. Now, I got very excited about this right out of the gate, and I ran and bought basically the cheapest, closest Xterra that I could find. There was one right down the street for only like 1,800 bucks. Then Duncan from Nissan Parts Puller reached out to me and said, hey dude, I got a great candidate for you, and I kind of want to use that one instead. So in just a couple days, I'm going to drive down there and pick it up, so watch out for the video on that on Ride the Car Guy 2. And this one, we're just gonna fix the bare minimum that we need to do to kind of make it run okay, and then I'm selling this one on. It is a 2006 SE with a whopping 60,000 miles on it, but honestly, it runs pretty darn well. They claim that they had the engine swapped out. I think we all know why that is. And that was about, I think at 170,000. And then, and that's pretty much all they know about it. It spent most of its life down in Arizona, which is fantastic. That means very minimal rust. And the only thing that's really wrong with it physically is that someone knocked the front end here and, you know, kind of bent things up. At the time, I certainly didn't care because I was gonna pull all this off and redo most of it anyways. But, you know, since we're going to be selling it on, I got to do a little bit of something here to kind of get this looking a little prettier before I go to sell it. I already picked up a hood and grill from a junkyard actually while I was down in Florida. So we're going to swap that out. I'm going to see what I can do about the radiator support, which is all mangled up here. And I bought a couple covers for like the fog lamps and things like that, just to kind of pretty it up. And we also got a fan clutch because the thing currently sounds like a Mack truck. So that's what we're going to tackle. Other than that, I'm pretty much just going to clean it. I might do a couple other videos on it because I think one of the door handles doesn't work. So it'd be kind of nice to do a video on that. But you won't be seeing much of this. So we're going to swap this one out, bring in the black one from Duncan, and then we're going to start a VK swap, which is very exciting. So let's start by taking this hood off and then assessing what we need to do up front. So here's where it obviously hit. Honestly, it's not really that bad. Unfortunately, the fender that I found in Florida was all damaged down the side. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do about this yet, but we'll pull it off anyways. We'll pull the hood off. It looks like just the hood is what buckled, which is great. The supports on the hood don't look like they are damaged, which is fantastic. So we'll be able to throw our new hood on here, and that will take care of that. I also have a new grille, since obviously this cover has been broken, and all the supports are broken as well. And I do see this is tilted a little bit, so our radiator support, bumper support, I know the radiator support's bent, but the bumper support might be bent as well. So we might pull off the front bumper cover. But let's get to it. All right, if my memory serves me, these are 12s. Yep. So what we're going to do is just loosen all four. I'm tightening it. Opposite. And then we'll probably take out 2 of the 4 and then set the hood down. That way we can safely take it off, you know, with being one person, that is. Now with the 2 front removed, I'm just going to push down and basically leave it with just a few threads in it. I'm going to get a piece of wood and just kind of jam it so it sits up a little bit and gently drop this guy down. Awesome. So now it gives us, believe it or not, enough space to kind of jam my finger in there and back the nut off by hand. And it just occurred to me I did this backwards. I should have left the front ones on. The front ones need to stay on, not the rears. So my mistake. There we go. Now with it down, I can get my hand in here and pull these out. One, here's our other. Excellent. So now it's detached, didn't fall on us, and I can lift it away. And this sucker is going for scrap. Now I'm going to grab the grill. There's a couple clips still left in it, but mostly zip ties. So I'm going to try to retain these because I'm kind of a hoarder like that. I think these are the ones that, no? Okay, cool. We have a new grill and new clips, so patience gone. Easy enough. Next, I'm going to lose the front bumper cover, and it looks like it's not going to be much work. The bottom little skid plate thing, that's gone. There's only a couple clips up front, and then there's just going to be 2, I think it's 2 10mm underneath right here to pull that off. And of course, zip ties. some parts are worse than I thought and some parts are better. We're gonna grab, yeah, let's take the fender off before we make our final determination, but the radiator support is pretty bad. I don't know if I'll be able to get that back into a reasonable shape. It's literally resting against the condenser up here. I think, if I recall, when I was driving it around, I heard the fan hitting the radiator on the back. That would be most unfortunate, but I don't recall. So, all right, fender off, then we can take a closer look. Remove the 3 bolts up here, 2 up here, 1 right here, and 2 in the door, and then I think 1 a little bit lower. So take all those out, and then we'll be able to pop this off. The fender just slides onto these bolts. There's 1 here and 1 here. So I'm just gonna loosen these, and that gives them enough space to slide out. I probably forgot one, but let's give it a try. Something down here holding it up. There might be a second one. Yep, there's a second one down here. There's a bolt here, and there's 1 more. That's probably what's holding this up. If it's attached to your fender liner, which, oh yeah, this one is. All right, gotta turn the wheels. Then we'll be able to take out that fender liner. Probably get away with just the splash guard in this case, because the fender liner is pretty shattered. I don't think it's attached. Oh, it is attached right here with a zip tie, but there's no other connections to it, so real great. I think that's gonna do it. Yep, there we go. So now that this is exposed, I just gotta snap this zip tie. Woo! And this, yeah, this was attached by nothing else. And the front is broken, so yeehaw. Now, he certainly wasn't expecting good news, so, you know, I'm not disappointed, but it is worse than I thought it was, only because this, the front fender here is definitely bent back quite a bit, and you can see here with the body mount, and the front tip of the frame is bent in a little bit. So obviously not going to do anything about that. I don't have the tools or the acumen or anything like that to get that done, but I am going to try to tweak this radiator support and bend back all the supports for the light, and this up here, your grill support. And that's obviously, I mean, that's super torque. That's up here. That can be bent back pretty easily though. And then really just try to get the radiator mounts put back in. They're missing up here. And that's pretty much it, guys. I'm not going to go crazy on this. I'll be very forthcoming with the person that I sell it to that, that has been in an accident. And certainly a non-professional body person, that would be me, is the one that did the repairs. Other than that, I really should get a nice light up here. That's a safety issue. And then probably just bang the fender out a little bit, try to get that back into shape. So for the general shape, again, I'm not gonna have, I was thinking about getting a new radiator support, but with this being bent back so far, I would have to literally deform the radiator support to get this to work. So I have a big ass bar here. This is from my jack. I'm gonna try with a jack handle to just try to bend, get it away from the condenser, so basically so it's not touching and it's not rubbing, and then get the lower radiator support back up because the radiator is dropped a little bit and it's not hitting the top mounts. And then we'll try to bend this down with something. I'm not sure yet. Find a good place to hold it. Oh wow, all right. I have a feeling I'm gonna break something, make this a lot worse, but we'll find out, won't we? All right, now don't make fun of me too much, but I think if I get a screw that will fit in these existing screw holes, and I run it through this, I can kind of very gently start working them back, like this right here. I'm working with just the real thin stuff. Oh. So it may not look like it, but I'm actually approaching my goal. I want these mounts to sit down on the radiator mount, so that actually is being held in place by something other than a zip tie. This portion bent really well. It's coming down. This was kind of bowed up earlier, and I'm starting to put this back into shape. This I'm probably just gonna pull so this sits in the right location for the headlight, so the headlight can actually sit in here. And the rest I have to leave alone. I'll bend this back for the lower mounts on the headlights, and then get a headlight in here. Like I said, I can't do anything about this body damage down here. And at the end of the day, you know, it's gonna be around $2,000. So running, driving, 4-wheel drive SUV for $2,000 shouldn't be too hard to sell. All right, so by banging this down, it's gonna make the hood actually sit flush and fit and be able to shut. By bending this out and this down, we're gonna make our headlight fit. By bending this out as much as we could, we're gonna make our grille support fit better. And that's about as good as I'm gonna be able to ask for out of this guy. The upper radiator supports are starting to align, which is pretty great. I have rubber supports that I got from the junkyard off of the donor car. So I'm gonna slide those in, get that put in, and then I guess start to align everything else. I might bang the fender a little bit, try to get that back into shape for when we do get an intact light, we might have some interference up here. But that is gonna do it for today, my dudes. I feel like we made a lot of good progress. The goal is not to make this exactly the way that it was. I just wanna make sure we're minimizing interference, of course, between the radiator fan and the radiator, and then everything up front, really. Then I'll just let the next owner know, hey, it's been an accident, they're gonna be able to tell. And here's everything that's wrong with it. So I'll be able to unload it, regain my money back from it, and just move on. Make sure you subscribe so you can follow along on the journey of our little tan X here. And if you're looking for a slightly banged up, maybe VK swap candidate, hit me up. Believe it or not, this thing actually runs really well. The engine and trans are strong and they're fine. 4-wheel drive works. Everything seems to be working good, other than this little mangled mess here. And the inside's a little dirty, but I'll be cleaning that up before I get it up for sale. See you guys in the next one.